Hi everyone. I have been a little MIA, just kind of busy with life. Easter, my twins' birthdays coming up at the end of this month. So I bought one of these books and I wanted to share it with you because I just think it's a beautiful book. It's called Flowers of the World, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, the front page, like that first page just says it all. I mean, these are bigger pages. In the front, you don't really have much. It's just, I think, like more like your index a little bit. And then this is how it is. And they're and there's flowers all over. So I mean, there's a lot of writing, but there's always a flower on every page. So, I mean, you could fussy cut some of these or, fold the pages in half. Like, look how pretty. And it goes in alphabetical order. So it starts with some of the ones that start, with A and ends at Z. Just like, look how pretty. I love that color scheme. So it's so perfect for right now for spring. So, I mean, you could do quite a bit with these. Like I said, you could fold them in half, you can fussy cut them, but like for this page, you don't really have to do much to pick between which one you want, but if you cut this one out, you're going to cut into this one. So you kind of have to decide. And I'm sure some of these you might be able to, see, like here you'd have to pick which side you want. But here you could get away with cutting this one out, cutting that out, and then deciding which one you want to cut out there. So it all just depends on your preference. And I loved this book so much that I actually ended up buying I have 3. Just like, look how pretty. Because when I find a certain book like these, I always try to buy at least 2, so that way I can cut one up, tear pages out, do whatever I want with it, and then I have one to keep for me down the road. And then if I don't want it anymore, I can always sell it. But yeah. And, I do these videos so that way you guys can at least have a quick review or flip through of what the pictures are in the book. Because I know a lot of times, like, I buy quite a bit of books off of worldofbooks.com, WOB. They have a US page and they have a UK page. And the UK page takes a little bit longer if you order off of there. It takes like 3 weeks. And you pay $2 per book. So if you had 2 books in there, each book would be $2 for shipping, so you'd pay $4 in shipping. But the books you pay like $3, $4. So it's not like it's a lot of money. If you go to the US site, a lot of times those books are a little bit more pricey, closer to like $8 to $20 range. But you get free shipping because you're in the United States. And you would get free shipping on the UK site if you lived in the UK, but that's obviously not the case. But they always have really good books. So if I really like one and say, even if I got it off of eBay or something and say I paid a pretty penny for it, like these kind of books, I don't ever really pay more than $24. So like say I paid $24 for this one, but then found it on eBay or Amazon for much cheaper, then I would go ahead and purchase one, if not two more. Now, if I ever have 3 copies, then I'm able to like rip the pages out and use those for signatures. Have one to rip out and fussy cut the flowers from, and then the other one is for me to keep for my personal, and I thought when I bought all these and got into junk journaling, like, oh yeah, I'll buy these books and they're so pretty and I'll be able to tear them apart and put them in my journals and stuff like that. But I just don't have the heart to rip these apart sometimes. It's taken a lot out of me just to rip up the ones that I have ripped up. Especially like the Edith Holden ones. So far, I have only ripped up the ones that I have purchased off of Amazon that are in the purple cover. Not the original, but that was still a little struggle for me. Even though I have, I think, 7 copies of that book. Plus, I always kind of thought, like, with junk journaling, like, I didn't think very many people did it and kind of knew what it was. So I didn't want to say I was naive and thought that, like, I would do really good with, like, selling stuff. But where I'm from, like, in Ohio, like, nobody, look how pretty that is, really is into junk journaling or really knows what it is. So, like, when I go to flea markets and antique stores and stuff, I'll find bits and bobs of like maybe a book here and there or a small like ephemera game that has like, when I say ephemera, obviously like paper or cards or something that are fun to use, but you never see any stands, at least where I am from, that have people that actually have junk journals up and have items that you can, buy separately to embellish in your junk journals and stuff. So it would be nice, because I always end up having to go kind of far to get stuff like that. I wish I could find somebody that actually, because I always wondered how people have found somebody that deals with like the antiques of like finding old books and ledgers and stuff like that, and like letters that people don't want anymore. Like, I feel like that's so hard to find somebody that could keep an eye out for you. But like, how do you even go about that? And then I don't know. I got lucky once, and a lady at one of the antique stores that I went to was like, what do you use this stuff for? And you picked out quite a bit of a variety. And I said, oh, well, I use this for junk journaling. And I showed her what I did, and she kind of told me about an auction. And I'm so thankful and glad that she did, because that was my first auction. It was my husband's first auction. So it was nice to do that together. It was in the middle of summertime. So it was like 90 degrees, and they had like 390 some boxes to go through. So it was a long one. But we got some good stuff, and he even told me, he goes, wow, because like there were boxes full of like old paper, railroad pieces and stuff from like Cleveland. And I have a piece that has a brochure. Actually, let me go get it real quick. So like in one of these boxes, there was, look at this. Now, obviously, people who watch this, you know that Cedar Point is in Ohio and up by Lake Erie. 1911. And it just, I don't know if the breakers were necessarily there. Look, people in their bathing suits. Just look how women had to like always cover up back then. Now if you the famous boardwalk. And then, what do they have here? So it doesn't look like they had any rides. Looks like Cedar Point was just somewhere that you could go to walk the boardwalk, swim, and then I don't really know what was inside. The finest bathing beach in the world, largest summer hotels on the Great Lakes, large convention auditorium. Oh, okay, so the breakers were there. Okay. All hotels are conducted upon the European plan. One person occupying the room for the day was $1.50. $2.50. Oh, geez. For 1 week, it was $7, $10, or $12. Two persons for the day, $2.50, $3, $3.50. For the week, it was $10, $14, or $18. Don't really know why they have different prices there. The White House and Bay Shore, I don't know if that's still there. They had a railway, America's greatest railway. Cedar Point on the Lakes, America's greatest resort. But yeah, this was inside one of those, and he was like, oh my gosh, finding stuff like that, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, this was what they call ephemera. This is stuff that people would throw out and never think to keep. But yeah, that was from one of the auctions that I went to, and I got into like the whole botanical flower book stuff and all these old books and everything. Just like the junk journaling thing, it just took me right down the rabbit hole. And now, like with the old books, I can't stop buying them. So I'm sure you'll see tons more videos. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. If you have any comments, please feel free to comment. I usually comment back. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy the weather. Bye.